Stories with Snowflake. Hello. What you are about to hear stays between you and me. Listen to every word and every detail that I'm about to tell you. Are you listening? Good. It was a hot summer day. Cut-off khaki and knee-high sock weather. We find little Jose waiting. Waiting for something. Waiting for anything. Waiting for nothing. Ring around the rosy. Pocket with a pistol. Ashes. Ashes. We all fall down.
My cousin just got jumped into the neighborhood, and he asked me to promise him I'll never get jumped in. I promised. My best friend Christian had a semi-normal life. His family always had something to eat in the refrigerator, and they had cable TV. I loved being at his house. Sometimes I would stay so long, his mother would have to tell me,
It's time to go now, Jose. You and Christian both have school in the morning.
I didn't want to go home. It was the mid-90s, and my family was gangbanging and getting high. My mom was looking for love in all the wrong places, and I was waiting for her to find it in me. It started to feel like I was waiting for nothing. Our lights would get turned off, and we were struggling. Waiting, hoping, waiting. I didn't know anything about my father, and it didn't really matter because it was normal to be raised without a dad. My mother started getting high. I was about to start middle school. I was waiting. I was worried about my mom and wondering why she wasn't home, but I was going to be brave and not cry. I was taught to never cry. I'm becoming a man. I can't cry. It was like 8:30 p.m. and I decided to head over to Christian's house. I get to the door and knock. Someone comes to the peephole and looks out but doesn't open the door. I knock again. Nothing. I go to the side window and see the living room light is on, so I knock and say, "It's me, Jose." They turn the living room light off. Then it hits me. They're not answering because they know it's me. They don't want me here. Broken. I was waiting and no one was coming to save me. I walked back up the hill and just wanted to cry myself to sleep. But I was taught to be strong, to never cry, so I walked. When I got to the top of the hill, one of my older cousins and another homie from the neighborhood were there. The homie looks at me and says,
Hey, homie, why you look so sad? Did your dog die or something?
I'm not sad. I'm good. Then he looks at me directly in my eyes and asks,
You ready to get jumped into the hood?
I thought about my primo. I thought about the promise. I thought about my mother, and I thought about how I felt inside. Without much more hesitation, I said, yeah, I'll get in. I was waiting no longer. We walked across the street. With each step, I moved closer to a decision that would change the course of my life. We walked into Pinky's garage, my primo's apartment, and they jumped me. They beat me and they embraced me. They hugged me and told me they would be there for me, and I believed them. My cousin gave me a pair of pants, and I cherished those pants. It was the first time anyone had given me something so special. 8 months later, my cousin was shot and killed. He was 14 years old. I started middle school with the pair of pants he had given me. I was waiting no longer. Welcome to another episode of Without Your Permisión.
Without your permission.
I'm Jose Arellano.
And I am Richard Cabral. And we are here to talk about real issues that shed light on our voiceless society of Los Angeles and throughout.
We create a space for real stories from real people that cover real topics to provide hope in the flesh.
And this is a collaboration of Lineage Entertainment and Wrecking Spot Music.
So if you can and if you will, follow us on Instagram at Without Your Permission, Twitter at WYP_podcast, and be sure to subscribe to Without Your Permission on iTunes Podcast and on our YouTube page. You can also email us at podcast.wyp@gmail.com.
And share. Please share.
Like and share.
Yeah, like and share.
Don't just share it like that shit.
It doesn't matter what comments. If you ain't pressing that red button, then it doesn't mean nothing.
And you ain't fucking with us. Yeah, straight up. So like it, share it,
Yeah.
post it on your wall,
And
print a picture of me if you want. I ain't tripping.
yeah. But just your head.
Just my head? No, I
Yeah.
want my body too.
Yeah.
Print a full body picture of me and post it on your wall.
All right.
Fuck it.
All right. Okay.
right,
Stories
so-
with Snowflake.
So yeah, we just heard we just heard another story with Snowflake.
Yeah.
And that happened to be that happened to be my story
Right.
when I was
Right.
young. And,
Yeah.
and,
Your
somebody-
initiation,
yeah,
right? Your initiation.
And that, but leading up to that, I think was like the thing that I always take away from it, because it was everything that led up to why I started
Right.
gangbanging.
And let me just intro it. Like, I mean, you did like, bro, like that story was just so beautiful. Like, I'm honored to be part of that and to help shape that in whatever form I did. But like, it's that, bro, because like most people have like the misconception of like, oh yeah, like you get jumped into a gang and that's it, you're in it for life, and like it's but it's they romanticize it, bro. You've never really heard like really getting into like the leading of, bro. It's a big thing. It's like when you go to the military or to the army or it's the initiation, it's the leading of. So hey,
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think for me, like that's the biggest piece of the story. Like not the glamorous part of like what some people might think or what they might say or even what some movies might portray.
right.
Like I don't think there's been a movie out
Ever.
that has really portrayed like what the experience is truly like
Of gang members, of the barrio,
and what it's like
yeah.
leading up to getting into the
Right,
neighborhood.
right. There
Because
is
I
no
think this-
film that is on record. There is no film that accurately portrays that.
because the story starts before all that.
Right,
Like my
right.
story began before anything, before getting into
right,
jump
right.
into
Just the
neighborhood.
brokenness of
Yeah,
a
the
childhood.
brokenness.
I'm thinking the movie that comes to me right now is American Me.
Yeah.
You know, and there was great storytelling in there, but they start from the point. Remember that movie? Like they're teenagers already. They're
Yeah.
already in.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about
Is leading up
is
to
the
it.
leading up to
It's
it.
the true story.
It's the true story. Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like the real story.
Right.
The real story is the before the initiation.
Yeah.
Because that's where the story truly begins.
And that and as you know, bro, like that how the beginning of it of a young child helps shape the gang member. You get me?
Yeah.
You get like I look at some of my homies, the crazies, bro, the ones that didn't like just didn't care, bro, for started YA and like
Or the most traumatized.
right?
Yeah, and people don't understand that. But see, that's the culture. Like that's the culture that they portray on
Yeah.
the big screen.
Yeah. That
Is
we're
these
all the
fools are
same.
just
Yeah.
vato locals
Yeah.
or whatever terms they use. It's like we didn't even talk like that.
Yeah.
Homie, growing up, first and foremost, you know what I mean. Like, let's talk about
The-
what built it.
Right.
You know what established those characteristics. Because it wasn't like, oh, I seen something glamorous that I wanted to
No.
obtain. It was like, nah, homie, there was nothing else. I was broken.
Yeah.
Like, and even though I would try to look or search for something
Right.
else, doors were being shut.
Yeah, and that was your last door, right? Your
That was
friend
like
Christian,
that was the
Christian,
last
Christian,
door. That was
right?
the last door. I
That was
knocked
it.
on.
That was
And that was it. And then it felt like, even leading up to the initiation, it felt like I still wasn't in complete control.
yeah.
Because it was like I was being herded into this experience that there was no other option, so I was just gonna go with it. And then it was like after I got in was then I was like, okay, now I'm taking a little bit of control back.
Yeah.
I'm control back of my life. But before that was like I wanted anything else but that. I yearned for anything else but that. I waited for anybody else to come and save me. But they never came.
Right. And like I just envisioned that road leading up to the hill. Like
Yeah.
that was the only road left, right?
Yeah, that was the last roll. You know, that was it. I think that was like the when you're kind of just defeated.
Yeah.
You know, you're just done. Like any dream, any hope for anything else. Even because as a kid, you think about like when we were kids, like I dreamed a lot. Like I want, like we have imaginations, you know?
Yeah.
And we hope for something different. We imagine a different life or what it could be like. But as a young kid, I think my imagination and along with childhood, along with all those things were stripped.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that's not going to happen for you. Like,
It's
nah.
like you're born and like it's endless. It's endless, right? As far as you could see, it's
Yeah.
infinite, bro. But as the circumstances just starts taking a little bit, and
starts
then
chipping them off.
and it
Yeah,
gets
it starts
closer. The
chipping.
shadow gets deeper
Yeah.
and deeper
Yeah.
and deeper and deeper until like you're just like, wow, what what is there? But it's
until the only thing you're left with is a lethal absence of hope.
yeah,
A lethal absence of hope. Like chew on that for a minute. So think about these kids like that grow up, that are born
yeah,
and that begin to grow up and our experience, no matter where you're at, no matter what community you grow up in, our experiences shape us.
for sure.
Like if I have a parent that tells me, I love you, I'm proud of you, those experiences shape the way that I see the world.
Yeah,
If I have a parent that protects me and that nurtures me and that cares for me and that provides for me, those experiences shape the way I see the world. I see the world as a safe place.
yeah,
But if I grow up in a household of drug abuse, physical abuse, alcohol abuse, people coming in and out of jail, those experiences make me see the world as an unsafe place. And when a human being, we're creatures of habit. We begin to develop these habits to survive. And now I'm not thriving in life. I'm surviving.
yeah.
I'm looking at life as
just getting
I
by.
gotta get by.
Yeah.
Like I have to get by. And to think of that as at a young age. Like your experiences begin to shape you at a young age, and you're growing up, and you're like, how am I gonna make it through this?
Yeah.
And
You're stressed out.
You're stressed the fuck out.
At a young age.
When you should be playing with your toys and not worrying
You're
about
stressed
things,
out. And you're
stressed
worried.
the fuck out. You're worried about the lights getting turned off.
Yeah.
That's none of your concern. And see, the thing about like generations before us, what they went through, like they didn't know that by them talking about all that shit in front of us or by them doing all that stuff in front of us, like
Right. What's gonna fuck us
what's
up?
gonna fuck us up.
Yeah.
And we can't even blame them because God only knows what they were traumatized by.
Yeah.
What they carried.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just this trauma that gets passed.
And like a lot of those that
generation.
generations before us, like it was war riddled times, like you're talking about like Vietnam, like that. I mean,
talking about trauma.
that Korean, the revolution, the Mexican Revolution, when people were coming over here from these war riddled countries,
Or even what they were going through, like with racism. And,
right, racism was civil rights was happening in the 50s,
all this stuff that-
30 years before we were born, bro. That's not a long time.
Yeah, and the stuff that they went through, just imagine how they carried it.
Yeah.
And if you talk to experts will tell you, like, trauma stays in your body.
For sure.
Like, it's not something that just passes on by
Yeah.
and like it just, you get rid of it. No,
Yeah.
it stays with you until you heal. But if you're a kid and you're trying to find identity, just think about an average kid growing up in a good community, coming from a two-parent household. They're trying to find their identity already. They're going through shit in school.
Yeah.
And then put poverty on top of that. And put homelessness on top of that. And put child abuse on top of that.
Yeah.
And put neglect on top of that. You know what I mean? And you're just like, fuck. But as a kid, you don't know all this.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say that when I think about our stories,
And there's not everybody lives like that, right?
it's not normal. But you don't know all that. You don't know
Sorry.
all that. You don't
Yeah.
know all that until you know.
Yeah.
And so, but I say all that to say, and then this is the what I get out of our stories is like everything that we went through were facts, but it's how I see everything that I went through that determines who I am. So I think about our stories as stories of like heroic, like stories of like survival.
Survival, that was the
of
word.
like making it.
Yeah.
When we always talk about our stories, we present them as like fact, like this is what happened, but we're still here.
Yeah.
Like put anybody else in that setting, and God only knows if they're
Yeah.
gonna make it sane out of that setting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the stuff that we went through, of course, we should have never went through it, but we did.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think sometimes like that makes us even more equipped for this world.
Right. And you look at all like great stories like that, right? Like all of them was carrying that, was bearing that cross,
Bearing that cross.
was carrying that stone, up the hill or just suffering, bro, suffering in order to,
Like I heard when Jim Carrey was here, when Jim Carrey was at Homeboys, he said something that out of his whole talk, he said something that stood out to me. He said that suffering leads to salvation. And like, what is salvation to me? Salvation is connection to myself, because the way I see myself is the way is going to determine how I see the world and
Yeah.
everybody in it. So I had to go through everything I had to go
Right,
through.
right.
And it makes me more equipped to deal with this world, to
Yeah.
be in this world,
Yeah.
to coexist with human beings. Because if I didn't understand my own wounds, then I would probably be judging the people that are wounded.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be who I am today if I wasn't able to go through everything I went through and come out on the other side and go like, you know what?
And to be able to save the lives of many, and I say save, and I don't know if that's the word, but like to touch, to be that like inspiration, like the blessings continue every day right here at Homeboys, bro. Like the blessings continue every day in your family, you know, and you're as a father. So is it all worth it? A man that's been through the trauma too, I could say it was.
Yeah.
Cause like the people that we touch, you know what I'm saying? Like it reminds me of that day when we came into this room a couple days ago, you know, and like that was gang intervention at its finest, bro. Like, and I didn't even know that word existed. You hear intervention and you think of like narcotics intervention, drug, you know, these celebrity rehab and stuff, bro. But what happened in that room was gang intervention at its finest, bro. And the only way we were able to help out that young brother that day, that afternoon, was because of what we went through.
Share that a little bit, like touch on that experience so our audience knows.
I'm here. Okay, so it's an everyday, just a regular day at Homeboy Industries.
Regular day.
Friday afternoon, have a couple meetings right here on Bruno Street. I'm upstairs waiting for one of the executives up here. And Jose hits me up like, where you at? I was like, I'm upstairs. So like it is mayhem here. If you guys don't know what it is, like these like we're in it right now, but you can't even hear. Like you have to have a
the energy here is just so
vibrant.
strong.
It's vibrant. Like
and
it's
in a good way.
It's it's the energy, bro. It's not what's happening. Like this is like ER, like house. This is ER
of the gang community.
Of the gang community, right?
You know, and of people wanting to get healing.
This is ICU of the gang community.
Intensive care unit for people that need healing, and it's just happening all day long. Just
it doesn't
nonstop.
stop. It doesn't stop. And you could be at one end of the building, to at the bottom, to in the
You're
cafe,
everywhere.
in the back parking lot.
I'm surprised I'm so heavy because I run around. So I'm like, why the fuck am I so heavy? I should be thinner than this, because I'm like going up and down the stairs. Like, doesn't that burn calories?
You know, you should get the little watch.
I'm not losing any weight. I had the stepper. I was going over 10,000 steps. I was going over. The shit was shutting off. I was walking so much, and I didn't lose a pound. What's wrong with my body? Is it the mind? I'm just like, is it how I think?
It's survival.
It's survival. My body just wants to.
Like a bear.
You know what? My body's still in survival mode.
The trauma.
The trauma. So my body goes, I'm just going to store fat.
I'm going to store it. I don't know when you're going to be starving. You were hungry.
I was hungry as
a little kid, right?
I was starving as a kid.
Yeah.
I remember we used to fucking we used to get boxes from the church. Palauda, right? We would get boxes for the church, and some of the cans didn't have the wrapping. So they were just like silver cans.
Mystery cans?
Mystery cans. So this is what we would do, me and my brothers, right? I'd be like, go in there, fool, and just fucking pull the gang cans out. And we would be like, I hope these are peaches. I hope these are peaches. I hope these are peaches. And we would just open the can, and they were fucking peas. And I'm like, God, fuck, why, God? And then we get another can.
God.
And I'm like,
God,
I hope
if you're real,
this is gonna be pineapple, God. If you love us, I hope this is pineapple. I hope this is pineapple. Bam, and it was like fucking sweet potato or something. I'm just like, God, fuck, cauliflower. Who does this? Or they would give you just way out. Oh, you know what it was all the time? What's that thing like on
spam?
No, not spam. But spam I would have tore spam up to pieces.
Is spam good for you?
I don't know. I wonder what
we used to eat that shit.
Yeah, I used to love that shit. I used to cut that shit by slices, and I would pretend it was I would fry it so much that it was something else.
Black, yeah.
I was like, this is ham. For sure this is ham, because it was just so burnt and crispy.
This is bacon.
This is steak. Ham steak. This is, I would dip it in flour. I was making chicken steaks. It was odd.
Okay, go ahead.
But what is that cranberry thing?
The red stuff?
The red thing was just
in the
pour
can?
it out, and it's like, boom, like, bam. That shit just falls out and it doesn't break. It just stays together. I'm like, why do they
like yams?
Like they would just give us it was like people were donating all the foulest shit that they never ate. Like, why would you donate shit you're not gonna eat?
That is true. Don't do that shit.
Don't do if you guys are donating
Salvation Army, should they
and
do that?
donate a bunch of cans that's
messed up.
If you're not gonna eat it, don't donate it.
Yeah, and then when it's dented, don't donate it.
Exactly.
Right? I heard that you can't eat when it's dented.
I was fucking those cans up. If it was pineapple or peaches,
It was gone.
it was done. I'm talking about I would get the can, I would just be tapping the can, trying to suck all the sugar out of the can.
So that might be a reason why
Maybe
your
that's
body
why my
is-
body
is
stores
just-
so much
Okay, so
fat.
we were here, right? We were
We were here, and we were moving,
We were
and I
moving.
called.
You hit me up. I'm like, I'm upstairs. You're like, come in, and I
Oh, yeah, I'm
actually
all-
run
I'm
out.
come to the group therapy
Yeah,
room.
come right now. I'm in a meeting, and then I was like, hey, welcome, Richard. And I was like, gotta run. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And I didn't come back for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we end up sitting in
Yeah,
there.
we end up sitting in there.
And it was basically what it was is like,
and
it was a
hot,
homie.
yeah, a homie.
It was
his
just a
face was kind of
homie.
beat up. That's the first thing
Yeah,
that
you know, and I seen him earlier and I go, damn, I know he's going through something.
Yeah,
Like, I just know, I know what's up.
yeah,
And I'm like, hey, we're going to talk later.
yeah,
Anyway, the opportunity presented itself. We got to talking, and I said, you know what? Like, we talk about this show being Hope in the Flesh.
yeah,
Well, okay, we got to live by that because
Yeah.
now it's time. If you're here, it's like I need to utilize you.
yeah.
Because homies look up to you already. Like, they see you on the big screen. But it's like, now it's deeper than that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
We're
what
gonna
I'm
get
saying?
into
We're
it.
going to really get
Yeah.
into it. Like, yeah, he's doing all that, but what did it take for him to get there?
Yeah.
And we just get up in the room and then go ahead.
Right.
Like, you could kind of explain
No,
the
I mean
rest.
it's like you get into the room because people are like, this is gang intervention, and that's what I call it. But whatever, it could be healing our community. I get up in the room and like I peep the scene first. I take in the energy. So first of all, it's you in the room. I trust you. So whatever, I'm
top.
in it. Like no matter what,
Yeah,
like
off
if
the
it's
top,
bad or
yeah.
good, like we're gonna handle it. So
Yeah.
bam, he closes the door. I see the homie and his face is beat up. Like, and he's obviously he got into it, So off the top, like I know like where he's at. Like I
Yeah.
know like I don't know if it's drugs, I don't know, but obviously once there's violence, once you cross that threshold,
Yeah.
like shit is real. So I was like, all right, I sit down, I hold my position, I let you take it, and then it just starts
just
coming
starts
out.
coming
Yeah,
out,
and I'm
you
there
know?
to support until I feel that I could come in.
And then you realize that it's beyond what
Yeah,
we see. It's
yeah.
beyond. I mean, because this is one thing, like for our audiences to know is like, it's past what you see with the
Yeah,
eye.
yeah.
It's like it's past the first glance. It's deeper than
Yeah.
that. You get to start putting this stuff out, and
Yeah.
it starts coming out.
And
then
we
you-
know it all, like not all, like, but it's that there's something that the person is running from. We know that there's something that he doesn't want to face. It's the same story. It's not complicated.
Nah.
It's not like what has happened to the individual is complicated, but pain is the great equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt is hurt. Abandonment is abandonment. And you just and we start lining it up, and then boom, it just comes out.
Starts
But
coming
the
out.
biggest thing that you can't do intervention of any kind if the people do not feel safe, if you're
Yeah,
not solid within
yeah,
yourself, and it's fairly, and it's like
and if you're foreign to your own wounds,
yeah, like it's kind of easy, bro. When we're doing this work,
Yeah.
not like because like it's we're not foreign to our own wounds.
Yeah.
We're real with ourselves, so a homie knows that if we're real to ourselves, I could be real.
Yeah.
And
so it's
and there's
not
no judgment.
It's not no preaching. It's not
Yeah.
no I got the answers.
Let's
It's
talk
like,
about it.
Hey, I was hurt.
Yeah, I was hurt. Yeah,
This is what hurt me. I don't know if maybe this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it hurt you anything similar to this, but
yeah.
what hurt you.
Yeah.
And then it's just
And you're
but
not
it's that-
happy.
it's
And it's
creating
what
that-
G says from that meeting. You're not
Yeah.
happy. It's
Yeah.
not you're being a bad person or you're being a good person. Is that you're not happy, my boy.
Exactly.
That's the bottom
Exactly.
line.
That's the
You
bottom
don't
line.
want to be waking up drunk somewhere or getting jumped by these dudes. Like nobody is happy living like
Yeah,
that. That's
you're
the
not
bottom
happy.
line. So and that's really what we're trying to get to that day. And I
it's
believe
what makes you happy, homie.
Yeah.
Is at the end of the day,
Are
what
you-
makes you happy, and how can we help you?
Yeah.
How can we just be?
Are
here
you
for
ready
you?
for that?
Yeah.
And if not, like
Yeah.
it's not no secret. Line it up. What is it? That's attainable. That's attainable. And that's kind of how it went down, bro.
It
And
is,
like,
that's exactly what it was. But that's the power of story.
yeah,
And if it wasn't for everything that we've been through, we wouldn't have that. I say I wouldn't have that.
yeah,
I wouldn't have that deep connection. I wouldn't understand anybody else's story if I didn't first understand my own.
for sure.
And so that's
So it was all
why,
worth
like,
it. I
was all-
think it was
all
all
for
worth
me,
it. It was all worth it. Yeah, and that
know?
like I commend you, bro. I honor you like that because like you do that work all day, every day. You think you could do this job? Nah, you really can't. You think you know what it is to come up in here and do this work? No, you really don't. It's not that anybody could could take that, bro. I don't take that. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do in art, and I do my one man show. But like you're on your own. You know, you do your own thing right here, and the gentleman and G, you know, like that do this work, bro. Like this is, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be a strong individual, you know, because this thing will just smoke you out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I think like one of the things that I've learned like with G is that if I'm burning out like Gacho,
Right.
then that means I'm not doing it right.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what he says.
and so I always have to reflect. I always have to look at like my intention.
Right.
Like, am I trying to save people?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna save anybody.
yeah.
But going back to what you said, like what makes this work
Right.
is creating a space that feels safe enough
Right.
for people to heal.
Yeah.
Because each one of us, like, we have the answer. You know, each one of us deep down inside, under all the bullshit that we've been through, like we know
Right.
the truth
We know
about
the
our
truth.
life.
We know the truth.
And if we
Yeah.
look back far enough, we know that we were created in the image of God. Like, and we know that deep down inside. And if we don't know, like now you know.
Yeah.
If you don't know, I'll tell you. Like that, my truth is Richard's truth. Richard's truth is my truth. My truth is a gang member truth. And here's the truth: is that we were all exactly what God had in mind when He created us. But our experiences growing up shaped us.
Yeah.
And like growing up as a kid, you have a parent that's boom, you know, stupid. You ain't shit.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. You're gonna believe it.
Yeah.
You're gonna go, oh shit, maybe I ain't shit.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Maybe I am stupid.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have anybody showing up at your open house,
Yeah.
or if you don't have anybody showing up at your when it's time to meet your teacher, maybe you go, oh shit, maybe I'm not worthy to have anybody here. Our experiences shape us, and they even shape us if you have money.
Yeah.
If you have money and you have everything, maybe you go, I don't need to feel connected to people.
I'm okay.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
with having money.
Yeah.
And those experiences
Maybe I am
shape
better
us too.
than them.
Maybe I am better than them. Maybe they are lesser than me. But something will happen, I think, in our lives.
Yeah.
You know, God will always give us an opportunity to return to the truth.
Right.
And I feel like right now we're living in a time where, like, we can't run from it anymore. Like, we're living in a time, I think, that it's a beautiful time of the awakening, or people just want to turn the other
What does
cheek.
the awakening mean to you?
I think the awakening for me is understanding that we're all connected. But first we connect to ourselves to understand that we're all connected and every life matters. Not just some other matter more than others.
Right.
And I think, like, for me, the awakening is understanding that, like, I was exactly what God had in mind when He made me, and realizing that if that's my truth, then that's His truth.
Right.
Because I can't believe in a God that likes me more than than He likes you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I want to talk about when you went to Flint. You went to Flint.
Yeah.
And like when you were like, how can this be? Right? You had no understanding. And like,
Yeah.
well, people don't know what Flint. Go ahead and speak.
Yeah, no,
Well,
so
give
with Flint,
the description of Flint.
Fuck, man. So we talk about suffering.
Yeah,
like,
but what's the big thing about Flint?
so
For people
the
that
Flint
don't
is the
know,
water.
it's the
For
water.
people that
So-
don't understand, the water in Flint was contaminated for years.
right, and
for like 3
and the
years.
government, nobody didn't
Nobody,
do.
politicians were talking about. So it all started with people trying
And
to
what
save
year was
money.
this?
I don't remember the year it started, but I want to say like 3 years back, 4 years back.
Yeah.
I want to be correct with the dates, but anyway, look it up.
So who was it
So
was
there
it was
was-
during Obama's time,
Yeah,
right?
Obama was in office
Yeah.
during this time.
Okay.
But anyway, going back, it was like, the water was contaminated. They were trying to save money to put in this new pipe, something with the chlorine, the lead
Right,
in the
right.
pipes. They
Bullshit.
didn't put the right chemical, whatever it was.
Lies.
It got swept under the rug.
Right.
So people in the community were drinking this water.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about Flint, like if Flint, Michigan, has already been affected by poverty because when the
Detroit,
automobile
yeah.
automobile companies went on under, a lot of people lost their homes. So that community was already poverty stricken.
And you went there what last year,
I
right?
went there last year, I think.
yeah.
Last year, not too long ago.
Yeah.
And anyway, so if you think about like poverty, they were already poverty
Yeah.
stricken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're already struggling. They're already in survival mode. Dog, when we went out there,
And that's the biggest like you had no understanding, right? Of
like why could that happen? Like
Yeah.
how could we allow this to be happening as a country? You know what I mean?
2014.
As a country. So in 2014, we just got confirmation on the date. We don't want to say anything that's false, but we'll say we'll always speak from like what we experienced, and what we experienced when we went out there was, I mean, homie, there was houses, dog, like there was blocks and blocks of houses that were just abandoned, and in between these abandoned homes were homes,
Yeah.
like of families living in there, barely getting by, dog.
Yeah.
And it looked like a bandit house. They were so abandoned that people were starting to go by and burn these houses down just to burn them down, because the community seemed like a ghost town.
Yeah.
And that people that lived in some of these homes in between these abandoned houses were writing big in spray cans. They were writing, "Please don't burn my house. We live here."
Wow.
Like the whole houses was
Yeah.
it was just fucked up.
Yeah.
Like big spray can writing, ugly spray can writing,
Yeah,
like, "Please don't burn my
this
house.
yeah.
Like we live here."
Yeah. And that's when you went through that community,
We went
right?
through that
But then you
community.
went through the other side of the
And we
community.
went through the other side of the community.
On the other side of the
On
tracks.
the other side of the tracks, and it's thriving.
Right.
And it was thriving. The houses were nice.
And was there a color barrier, a color?
Of course,
Yeah.
the community that we went through was African American and Latino.
Mm.
And when you get to the other side of the tracks, of course, it's white privilege. So
Yeah.
it's like that in many communities across the nation. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Because
From the east side, I know.
so there's an idea, homie, that's taking root in this world, dog.
Yeah.
And that idea, like this is like what we really like for me and what Homeboy Industries and what we always want to stand on is that there ain't no other lives that matter more than others. That
Yeah.
all lives matter.
That's
you
the
know?
bottom
and
line.
that we have to enter into a kinship, homie, that can honestly do an end, that can abolish like this separation.
And for me, looking at that story, bro, like it's not about race. For me, that story has nothing to do with race. And right now, what gravitates to me is that a gang member from Los Angeles related to Flint, in a deep, deep way. People from Homeboys related with Flint in a deep, deep way. Like pain is the great equalizer. Like with the words that you're speaking are not just words. They're physical now because you experienced it. And I think that's the game changer right there.
And even just being able to go out there, because the organization that brought us out there they were predominantly, they were white.
Yeah.
And so, but these are people that want to stand on the margins.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right.
nothing
It's
to do
not
with
about
race.
race.
It's
It
not
has
about
nothing to do
race.
with
Yeah.
race. It has everything to do with an idea that some lives matter more than
Yeah,
others.
that's it.
And so if we can collectively stand against that idea, we'll be standing in the margins.
Yeah,
We'll be standing
yeah.
in the right place, and our lives will change because of it, dog. And what happened with us going out there was, I was like, damn, they want it. And it was all based off of the power story.
Yeah.
Because once again, going back, pain is the great equalizer. For somebody that grew up out here in the gang lifestyle to be out there and connect with people that want to be change makers and to connect with the community that was also suffering was big, And what that does, homie, is that it shortens the gap between us.
Yeah.
It decreases the distance. And that's what we need to do if we want to change this world. We need to decrease the distance between us. That's why one thing with what I love, like you say that I'm great at some of the things I do, and I humbly accept that. I think that's beautiful, but I think like you being a bridge. G always talks about us being bridges or barriers. As human beings, we could be a bridge or we could be a barrier. And you're a bridge, homie.
Yeah.
Like just think about the bridge you are with the Hollywood industry. Yeah. Like fuck, who does that?
They done.
Like
They done let me in.
They done fucked up.
They
done
fucked
fucked
up.
Like nobody can fucking like a 5-star restaurant fucking and just like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like but that's what it is. Like we want to be bridges, We want to be bridges and we don't want to be barriers. Right. And I commend you, dog, because that's what you've been doing. And that's why we fuck with each other, because I think we both we want to be bridges. We want to bridge our community so that people can see the beauty in our community.
Yeah.
To see the beauty and not the shit that you see in the movies.
So has Hollywood, talk about the Hollywood movies
Let's talk about
and
Hollywood,
our community and how they depicted us.
I mean,
bro, you know what I hate?
Tell me.
Is that when I go somewhere, right? And like they see me or like not me, like where I'm at, like, Richard Cabral actor. Like even before, bro, when we'll go out, and they're like, yeah, I seen blood in, blood out. Blood in, blood out.
Like, I didn't come out in that movie.
Like, yeah, Boulevard Nights.
Yeah,
like they
never...
think these movies are like true, like pictures of like
they think they know
people.
They think
yeah,
they, look at
like
it.
we all like.
They think
you guys
they know
haven't
us.
seen these movies, like
watch them.
but they're not good movies.
But look, but we want them to understand what we're talking about. So,
Yeah.
so what he's saying is, we go out places and people will go, "I seen Blood in, Blood out," and like that movie
Yeah.
doesn't got shit to do with my life,
Right.
But
And,
but
like,
people think they know us based off of
That's I
these
mean, there's not a
movies.
movie that could really accurately depicted the way I grew up, the way I felt, the way my uncles were, because we're not babies from the 90s. No, our families have been involved in gangs from the
Generations,
1970s,
generations.
you know, from the
And they never
projects,
talk like that.
Yeah, they never like
I don't
what's up,
remember,
yeah.
homie. 1111th Street, Ranker. Like, who the fuck talks like that?
That's
I'm
Boulevard
gonna give you a
Nights.
line. I'm gonna give you a
Yeah.
line. Boulevard Nights.
Yeah.
When he's walking down the boulevard, and supposedly,
Yeah.
fucking, what's the brother's name in that movie?
See what they did. What did they do then? So they grabbed the world, right? Where did they fuck up at? They grabbed the world, and then the world was accurate. The streets were accurate, but then
But
they
then they
put
take
the
this story
stupid
and it's-
actors.
and they go.
Yeah,
anyway,
and they put the clothes on. They're like, or
Yeah, he walks up to there's this movie.
God.
It's called Boulevard Nights. He walks up to the homie and he goes, they rolled up on you with you and your ruka, and you ain't gonna do nothing. What are you? Some chaval or something? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? A Western movie?
Oh,
He's talking like
fuck,
if he's
John
John
Wayne.
Wayne. Like, you fucking John Wayne. You just jump off a horse? Listen here, pilgrim. He rode up on you. What are you, a bunch of chavalas or something? I'm like, who the fuck says that? Like, who the-
horrible.
I was like,
horrible,
damn, homie.
Yeah, I mean,
And then you let him
Oh,
get at
my-
you sideways. He just got at him sideways. He didn't even.
blood
sock
in,
him
blood out.
What's on blood? What is he doing?
No,
blood?
who's the white guy?
Oh no!
Who's
You
the
know
white
the one?
guy?
No, listen, blood in, blood out.
Blood in,
Let
blood
me tell you the
out.
one part of blood in, blood out. And I was like,
Is whack.
no, when he tried to rape him in the South, and then they
We
became
don't-
homies.
yeah, we
no,
don't
wait,
do
wait,
that.
He's
Okay,
like,
so this
hey,
is it.
Hold on,
Break-
hold on.
break
Let me
it- break it down.
Okay, let me break down this
All right,
scene.
document
This fool
it,
goes to the
right.
pen, got his fish
Goes
kit,
to prison, right?
gets into the South, puts the
Oh.
frowls in there. This fool comes to the South, brings him some cigarettes,
Yeah.
and then he goes. And then all of a sudden, he just turns on him, gets horny out of nowhere. I'm like, first he takes the homie. He's
It's
like,
all good? Like,
he's
all
like,
right.
it's all good. I'm gonna show you around, homie. Woo, woo. Take you to the cellar. Oh, here goes some frowns, homie.
Cigarettes.
These are homies. They're
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to be
yeah, they're
homies.
bros, you know?
And then he goes, and then he tries to fucking like
That's the
bone
bono.
him. He tries to have sex with him, but he's like, and then they start scrapping. And then they become road dogs, and they
Become
start
friends.
robbing, and they're
Yeah.
robbing banks together.
That shit would not does
And I'm
not
like,
happen.
homie, that Vato tried to have sex with you.
Yeah, he's a
He
homosexual.
tried to rape you, though, first and foremost.
Yeah.
He tried to rape you. Fuck the homosexual thing. He tried to, like, rape you, homie. Okay? Like, I'm not tripping on homosexuals, but if you're trying to rape me,
We're
we
not
have
gonna
a
be
problem,
friends.
homie. I'm not just going to let you come
Yeah.
into my cell, try to rape me, give me some cigarettes,
And we're cool.
and then we're cool later on. Now we're robbing banks together. No. I'm not doing that shit with you. What if we're robbing a bank and you get horny again and try to fucking, then what?
Put a roofie.
Yeah. What if you slip some shit in my drink?
Yeah, I
and
wake up.
And I wake
Ass all
up
sore.
and I'm fucking, no, homie.
Yeah.
You've had priors for trying to rape motherfuckers, and I'm not gonna let you near me no more. They were living in the same apartment in the movie with a sheet that said, nah, homeboy, we're not sleeping together. Cause nah, this shit ain't going down. But that's what happened in the movie.
And
I'm
that's
like,
how they depict us.
you try to got horny in prison, try to rape the homie, then you guys are robbing banks together, then you move into an apartment together. What part of the game was that? Like, I was like, no, that's not the story, dog.
Yeah.
Why would
And like film, bro, and like me working in the industry is like a huge thing because like that's the story. Like people they think of a community of what they see. You know,
Exactly.
That's it.
So
They
that's
think
the
of a
part that gets me
community,
the most
that's
is
the thing
because-
bro, we went to South Dakota and like they think that
And
they
they're like,
know.
oh, I seen blood in, blood
yeah,
out.
yeah. It's
Blame me first and foremost. We don't get down like that at the pen with no cigarettes and sex and all that shit ain't happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to be clear. Like, no, dog, I don't do that shit. I didn't do that in there. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
But it's like, but that's
And
it.
even
they,
with like,
you see,
like
they
even
see
with
a
American
movie,
Me though, bro, like
but see, with that there was no healing. But that,
there was no
there was no story. It was like
it was just savage. It was just savage after
like,
savage. Like, come on, man. Like that's not
like,
how it
kick
goes
back,
down.
homie.
Like that's all. That's
I played with toys when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like
and I
had,
think that comes back to the beginning of this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like jumping straight into like these kids were just gang members. You know what I'm saying?
no,
But
fuck
like
that. Tell the story first.
Yeah.
Tell the story before you get into all that crazy weird shit.
Yeah, and it's very like it's power, bro, because a generation went ape shit. You know what I'm saying? Colors. You know what I'm saying? Like Menace to Society. You know,
And then
American
and then
Me.
those movies. Just think about how those movies infected other states.
Bro, we go and people create their gang lifestyle. People
Based off of movies.
based off of movies, bro. That's the sad part.
That's the sad
That's
part.
That's the truth
And
about
so
it.
Hollywood. We're waiting for you to.
We're not waiting. We're creating.
Okay, we're gonna do our own movie then. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Can I star in it or no? No. Fuck. All right. Well, we're gonna wait. Maybe I'm gonna be a writer in it. I don't know. I'll do something.
Could be a PA.
I'll do like background.
Yeah.
I'll just be like the dude walking by sweeping or something.
That'd
I'll
be
do
good.
that. I'm not tripping. Fuck it. I'll be a What do they call those?
Yeah, a PA, a production
PA?
assistant.
A production assistant or somebody that actually passes by a scene. What if I'm like sweeping the tier? You know what I mean? Like, hey, porter, can we get a porter over here? I just walk by sweeping
You
or
know,
something.
did I ever tell you my first acting gig?
Nah.
I was a Cuban gangster.
Serio?
Yeah, on CSI Miami.
I would have did fucking Al Pacino, Scarface.
Yeah, they put me some like crocodile boots, real shit.
Serio?
And it was out of Homeboys. It was me. Did you ever meet Juan Parra? All right, this is like 7, 8 years ago. And Colosio.
Serio?
And
Big
Colosio, big old Colosio. Us three were Cuban gangsters.
What?
That was my first acting gig.
I have a
CSI
hairy
Miami.
chest, so I could have fucking...
Yeah, you
Just
would've-
imagine me with like a
tight
Hawaiian
V-neck.
shirt.
Yeah.
No. But then you just bust the hair out. Oye, coño. Tú sabes la cosa, man. See, I could do that shit like that. They ain't ready for me, fool. Hollywood ain't ready for this shit. Hey,
You know how many Cubans?
You want to go to war? I'll take you to war. They ain't ready for this shit. Salsa. To fuck.
You got a job, dude.
Hey, you got a job, man. Remember that? Shit, I'll do the Godfather.
Okay, whatever characters or movies you want to see.
You want to see me reenact? Get them in there. Get them in soon.
Forrest Gump,
You
Tom
wanna do
Hanks, Forrest Gump.
Oh, I'll do the part when he's on the porch.
Go.
Remember, what does he say? Hold on, when he goes,
Yo, mama.
that's the only part I know.
Your
Oh,
mama
no,
sure must love your education.
Oh, yeah, he goes, your mama sure must love your education. Oh, what about? No, I used to do that one part.
To Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. No, what is it? Hold on. No, Lieutenant Dan was a dick.
Yeah.
He treated Forrest like shit, homie.
Yeah. But
Gotcha.
yeah, Forrest loved him.
Forrest loved the shit.
I love
I
him.
love you, Lieutenant Dan.
Jenny.
Jenny. Forrest, just keep running, Forrest. Whatever you do, just keep running.
All right, one more before we go.
One more, wait, what?
Go. Give you guys.
Give me one.
Come on, guys, back there.
Give me one.
Popeye.
No, I'm not doing Popeye. When he's fucking in blood in, blood out, no, I ain't doing that, fool. That's why we started this shit. I'm not gonna do that weird when he talks about getting some chon chon. No, I ain't doing him. Hey, I'll do let me get one more. I'll do Chuco from Boulevard Nights.
Ooh, Chuco from Boulevard.
Chuco from Boulevard Nights.
All right.
Don't ever hit me, man. I don't care what it is. Just don't ever fucking hit me in front of the homeboys.
That was good.
All right,
That was
good.
good. Yeah. But this is a further. We gotta go further into this conversation about Hollywood, bro. And
We're gonna talk about this, and we wanna know, what do you guys think about this
Did
conversation?
we have any questions, Ali? No.
And if you guys have any comments or questions, get them into us. We want to know. If you want me to impersonate Robert De Niro, let's do this shit.
Man,
Because if we're gonna start putting together our own
yeah,
film,
we have to.
then I
We
need to
gotta
be
tell our
ready.
stories. That was why this podcast was like really created, bro. Because no one was telling our stories.
Nobody was telling our stories.
They really
so
weren't.
We wanna do this.
Yeah,
shit.
we're gonna continue, and it's not gonna just be.
So
on
let
a
us know
podcast.
what you guys think about Hollywood and the way they've depicted
Right.
gangsters or cholos and all that good stuff. And then if you want me and Richard to like be Abbott and Costello one day or something, we gotta do like a pair thing, fool. Like I Love Lucy, like Ricky Ricardo and Lucy. I don't know. I know that might not fit, but we'll do something like that. Lucy, I'm on. You could be Lucy, fool. I'll be Ricky. We'll
Dumb
just,
and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, dog.
Yeah.
I'll come in here with my hair just slicked forward.
You want to hear
Just
the most
all
annoying
wet.
sound?
What's another good pair we could do? Think of a good pair we could do.
What was the heavy guy that passed away?
Oh yeah.
Fat guy in the little suit. Tommy Boy. Did he have a partner?
You know who we could do? We'll do a fucking animated. We'll do Timon and Pumbaa. Said you because you kind of look like Timon. I look like Pumbaa. We'll just go in on it. Timon and Pumbaa gone gangster. The Lion King. Gangster fucking. The Lion King be the loca mix. Some shit, crazy shit like that.
I like that.
We'll just do something like that where Timon, like Pumbaa went to the pen and then fucking came out all thug life and then got back with Timon and they start robbing licks and shit. Just, who knows? Because the Lion King never shows whatever happened with those two.
And just based off like.
Just based off of the street life.
Yeah. Forget Simba, right?
Like Timon starts using it real heavily.
Becomes a heroin
It
addict.
comes to heroin. That could be you.
Yeah.
Gets all tatted up and shit. Gets all meth and gets all weird. And then Pumbaa gets all skinny. They're like, damn, what happened? Pumbaa used to be heavy. I started smoking meth. Fucking. Started getting high and lost like 80 pounds.
I like that. We have to develop that.
Let's work on it. What do you guys want us to work on?
Right.
What
We're
do you
gonna
guys want us to
close
write?
this out.
We love you guys as always, and thank you guys for tuning in. Junebug, I love you, Junebug.
Oh yeah, hey Junebug, Paul got the art supplies.
Oh, he did?
You got art supplies.
Fuck, I want to
Yeah.
draw stuff.
So just ask him what you want him to draw for you.
Yeah, and we're sending it out. I love you, Junebug.
Right.